Hey everybody, we're back with another video. So last time I showed you how to track hundreds of accounts using Airtable and Make.com. But the question is, how do you actually manage 100 accounts at scale? So I built this pretty cool automation. It's with PipeDream using Google Drive, PipeDream, and Apple Shortcuts. I first learned about this from Nate Aston. Shout out to Nate Aston. He's also a really good guy for learning about automations and stuff like that. So we've been able to get that process down from what was before like 8 steps down to 4 steps. So that's about a savings of 50%, right? And when you're considering if you're running this over 100 accounts, and let's say it takes you about 10 minutes to do one post, right? The fact that we're able to shave that down to, let's say, 5 minutes, over 100 accounts, that's 500 minutes, right? 500 minutes is what, like 9 hours. So you're practically saving an entire VA worth of labor. That either means you reduce your cost by half or you've doubled your output, because that same VA, you can now either double that same task and have 2 working in parallel, or you could allocate them to a different process or task. So it's a quite a significant amount of savings when you're doing this over hundreds of accounts. And so without more explanation, let's just get started. I want to show you, we have a Google Drive here, and this Google Drive is loaded up with a few random pictures. These just completely random. Obviously, we're using this for Reels, but just for the sake of example, I'm just using pictures, but you could easily swap these out with Reels as well. So I have this folder called Automation Demo, and within that folder, I have 2 other folders. I have Used and New. And so the whole concept is that basically we're gonna keep all our posts and all our media here that hasn't been posted. And once we've uploaded that, it's gonna move it into the used folder so that that same reel or that same post is not used again in a different account, right? Because as you know, Instagram now with the new update, they're really cracking down on unoriginal content. So we wanna make sure every post that we're making is completely unique. And so if we move here into PipeDream, I've built this automation. It's called Get Unique Reel. So the way this works is pretty simple. It's just a webhook trigger. And all that means is that whenever you send like an action to this URL, it starts the automation. So a webhook can be used between any kind of system to kind of like activate something. So the next module here is a list files module. And what this will do is it will go into the Google Drive and it will find the file. So as you remember earlier, we had this folder called New Automation Demo. So you can see that was successful. And we can see that we got 5 of our, I guess 6 of our photos here. We can see the ID, the name, all that good stuff. So the next thing we want to do is actually get the specific file. And in our case, we're just doing it randomly, right? Anything which is inside this Google Drive, we can use any of them. So we're just gonna grab the first one, which is index 0. And so the next thing we wanna do is after we get that file and we send it to the Apple Shortcuts, we wanna just move it into the used folder so we never use it again. So as you can see, I set up this module here to just go into the used folder, and I'll show you how that looks right now. So as you can see, we had all our pictures here new, and then it's gonna move it to used when we run it live. Okay, so the next thing is we wanna grab a caption to go with that reel. And again, in our case, we don't really care about the caption. It's just gonna be something random. And for most of the time, if you've warmed up your Instagram account correctly, that means you're seeing targeted reels, you're seeing targeted followers, you know, you have a completely USA based targeted towards your interest, then the caption is really not gonna matter too much. So you want to make sure that you got your warm-up correct on all of the accounts first and worry about the caption secondary. In our case, we don't worry about the caption at all and we just do something random. So we've created this Airtable here, and it's the same Airtable that you saw last time, but I've just loaded it up with 20 random captions. And the way this automation works is it's just going to go and grab a single caption and it's going to return it. So in this case, it was Embrace the Chaos, right? And then the next thing we want to do is just mark that as used, so we don't use that caption again. But we're not even going to worry about that right now. I just want to show you how the whole system works. So the very last thing is we have this code here. Now, you don't really need to know how it works, but all it does is when you send that webhook in the first step is basically going to just send back the information that we need, which in this case is two things. It's our download URL and it's our caption. And as you can see, that was successful. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to move towards Apple Shortcuts so I can show you exactly how this looks in practice. Now, the thing is, I can't show it to you on my phone because that's my camera. So I'm going to show it to you first on my computer so you can see how the structure works. And then at the very end, I'm going to show it to you on my phone so you can see how it works in principle, in action. Okay, so the first thing that we see is we have to give it the actual link to our automation to do the webhook. And you can get that link here, and then you'll just paste it right here. So it gets the contents of the text, which is that link, and then it grabs the actual download URL, and then it gets that download URL, in other words, that's the picture. It saves that picture to the Recents album on your iPhone, and then it copies that caption to your clipboard. So that means when they open up the app, all they have to do is just press paste, so they don't have to go looking for the caption or whatever. It saves a lot of time because captions can take a long time to kind of figure out. And then the last thing it's going to do is going to open the Instagram account. So theoretically, it should run as soon as you press the shortcut, and then it'll open up the Instagram app, and then all you have to do is press plus, post that picture because it's already the most recent photo, and then paste the caption. Done. Basically a one-click posting. So it's a huge time savings, and again, shout out to Nate Aston for showing me this. And I think if you're running hundreds of accounts or running anything at scale, obviously, if you can shave off milliseconds, maybe not milliseconds, in sports or something, maybe milliseconds, but for this process, if you can shave off minutes, even 5 minutes, over hundreds of accounts, it is a huge savings and it's definitely worth your time to implement. So now I've pressed the shortcut and it should be opening up the Instagram app like we see here. And all I have to do is just press plus here. And then as you can see, it's the most recent photo. So actually I don't even have to press anything. I just have to press next and then share. And it's simple as that.